UFC 293, great card, top to bottom. The main event, we have a new middleweight champion in the UFC. I mean, and his name is Sean Strickland. Amazing performance, totally dominated, 49-46 on all three scorecards, 4 rounds to 1. Arguably, that first round could have been a 10-8. In my eyes, I thought it was a 10-8. I mean, when he almost finished the guy, he landed like 30 unanswered bombs on the side of Izzy's head. I mean, after dropping him ugly. Credit to, Izzy's chin. He has a great chin for sure. I mean, he was able to recover off that and keep fighting and survive the fight. But he was, I don't think he would have argued that stoppage. As far as the Pahea stoppage, he had arguments for that one, said he was like doing a little thing, that he was bobbing and weaving, waiting to strike. This one, he was covering up. He was getting blasted side of the head with bombs from Sean Strickland, and it could have been a 10-8 round. I mean, it was a close round all the way up until the end. That was like the last 30 seconds or so. But still, I mean, unbelievable performance. Congratulations to Sean Strickland. Nobody picked him. I did not give him a chance. I made a video thinking, I did say the only way he could win, I would think, was what he did. March him down with the jab, back him up, smother him up against the cage somehow. Not really with the clinching, but just with being in front of him and being right there and being defensively sound. But I just did not think he could do that. Not for 5 rounds for sure. I mean, pretty much the beginning of the fight was all Sean Strickland just marching forward, straight up, just with a good guard, and not reaching too much. Like he had a lot of tendencies where he, previous fights. And I'm thinking, working with Alex Pahea definitely had to help him with that, because just shore up his holes in his games, because the way Alex was able to catch him. I talked about that, how he reaches to block shots or parry. And then he got timed and caught with the left hook from Pahea. I thought kind of similar thing was going to happen with Izzy, but Izzy really, he was searching. He could not hit him. His jab was not, the only thing he was landing was some leg kicks. Izzy had success with the leg kicks. But, let's look at the total strikes here, because, we had Israel Adesanya 94 out of 271. But out of that 94, honestly, like if you look at that, its head is 22 out of 154, and we're thinking that's just all jabs. There was not one punch where it was like Izzy, like, oh damn, Sean Strickland's taking a step back or he got rocked or anything. It was all Strickland going forward all the time. Anything that was damaging or looked hurtful or whatever or game changing was off Strickland. Like Izzy literally landed nothing. So, like, I mean, you look at these punch stats, 22, I mean, to the head, a lot of those are probably jabs or grazing shots. He did land a few shots when they did exchange and go toe-to-toe for a bit. To the body, 38, he did some nice kicks to the body, as he did for sure. The leg kicks, 34. I mean, I can't say Strickland checked half of those, but he checked a lot. Like, he was definitely checking a lot of those kicks. Like, and it was surprising because I didn't think he would, because he was susceptible to getting hit with leg kicks in the past and not really checking them. And so he was actually just, his energy was so efficient in this fight. Like, he was not tired. After the 5 rounds, he could have won another 5 rounds easily. And everyone's crediting it to, sparring all the time, more than any, most people, like, I remember when Robbie Lawler came and said, I don't even spar anymore. I just work mids. I work timing, stuff like that. And everyone was kind of on that bandwagon with no sparring. I think everyone's going to jump back on the bandwagon of just sparring all the time, because the way Strickland was able to nullify everything that Izzy wanted to do. I mean, he was landing leg kicks here and there, but like Sean checked a lot of those. Nothing big up top. Another thing I liked, with Strickland, I always thought his defensive was not good because the way he would reach forward, but he was kind of staying disciplined and to like almost like that Philly shout style. So it's like anytime Izzy would throw that right hand, Sean, like Izzy would be circling, they'd be both circling to the right kind of, so, or Sean was kind of just walking one step at a time, just walking forward and keep cutting off the cage that way. But when Izzy was going to try to counter and throw off, going towards his right with the right hand, Sean would always duck down like that Philly shout, and it would go off his shoulder. But the good thing about it, the way Sean would do it, is that Izzy was going that way, so he wasn't in a position to make Sean pay for such a big, drastic duck down from that. Because, that's what you do. You turn your back a lot. You turn your shoulder, with that Philly style, and then you come back with your right counter a lot in boxing, but in MMA it's a little different. Like, you have kicks to worry about. But, the smart thing about it, the way Strickland was doing it, he was out of Izzy's range to get countered off of that, off of defending or or just shelling up and dipping to his right, Izzy wasn't able to make him pay for that because he was going the other way. He was circling around off the other side, so he wasn't able to do anything with that. So he was always out of position to land anything big, and everything that he was landing, he threw a couple of nice, slick, quick, question mark kicks, which we kind of thought could, because of the tendency of Sean reaching, maybe he's reaching for here, and here comes a question mark kick up top. But, he did throw a bunch of those, and they were quick, slick. Like I said, I'm sure Sean felt the breeze or whatever, but he seen it coming, like he was keeping Izzy in front of him the whole time. And that's what's crazy about Sean, because he talks so much shit in the press conference and just on the mic everywhere, That's our favorite drunk, freaking open mic, open bar type dude, like just going to talk crap, right? So he does that all the time. But in there, he was just stone-faced, just focused. He was just on him, like kind of like on basketball, like someone you're trying to shake and you just can't shake them. No matter where you go, all your moves, they're right in front of you. They still got a hand in your face, and they're still like right there. Like same thing with here. Like he was just all over Izzy, whatever Izzy wanted to do. Izzy didn't move as much side to side, and I think that was one thing that a lot of people said, well, I think they were making excuses a little bit, like kind of like, oh, it just didn't seem like Dana White, didn't seem like Izzy, was himself, or I don't know what it is. You got to ask him. Like, so it's kind of like taking away credit from Sean a little bit, but at the same time, I think it was noticeable that Izzy his lateral movement wasn't as good as it normally is. Like he's a little bit more quick on it with the angles, but it could also be once he found Sean's relentless or his power really maybe, and he did get cracked it was the end of the first round, but he got dropped, he got turned around, and then he got lit up real quick, so it kind of let him know that, all right, Sean's going to be right there no matter what. Sean's going to be in his face for 25 minutes, so it's a lot. He had to change his game plan up a little bit too. It was more like just survival mode and pitter pat, or just point fight, land leg kicks here and there, which a lot were checked, but reaching and it was kind of the other way I was thinking. I said in the video, you reach, I teach. I was actually thinking it was going to be the other way around, that Adesanya was to be the one teaching the lesson, but it was actually Sean Strickland who was just making Adesanya look bad. I mean, no one ever made him miss that many times. I mean, look at 34% significant strikes compared to 52 for Sean Strickland, who basically, like I said, a jab-heavy attack, 1-2s, he'll 1-2 and throw that little teak to the body, dig the toes with a solar plex type kick. Not even a lot of power on it, just a little bit, and then he always with the 1-2s, always just the hands. Didn't really throw too many leg kicks, little couple here and there, because I thought that could be a game plan for Sean too. And there was really no clinching, not too much clinching. But if you look at the clinch strikes even, that's 11 out of 14 for Strickland, so that's in close. I mean, some of those are probably just counted when he was bombing on him in that first round. Ground 5 of 10. I don't even remember. Just when he was first getting up on the ground, he was let off on him real quick when he dropped him in that first round. So, I mean, he hung in there. He played it safe. I think he should have tried to step on the gas a little more. Second round, I felt like he did try to, so I think the way it went, it was Sean Strickland won the first round. Izzy won the second. Third, fourth, and fifth were Sean. Third was close. I still would have to give the edge to Sean just because he was constantly coming forward, constantly in Izzy's face. Izzy just could not shake him, no matter what he was doing. Like Sean was right there and just ready to throw, and is making Izzy miss like so much that he's in position to land something out on Izzy now. I wish he would have threw a little more jabs actually than he did, because he is jab heavy, but I still felt like I think he was doing what he had to do to win. He was he was trying to take Izzy out of there. In that last 10 seconds, he's just like, whatever. He was like, come on, Chinaman, or whatever he was telling him, like, let's go, Chinaman, like, fuck you. Whatever he was saying to him, just spazzing out and going crazy, last 20 seconds, like, let's go, stop being a bitch, let's fight, like, just crazy, dude. Like, just unbelievable performance by Sean. Like, I don't know if anyone saw this coming. Like, I definitely did not pick him. Yeah, I was picking Izzy all the way. I haven't said Izzy all the way. Same time, I was rooting for Sean. Like, don't be wrong, I was jumping on my seat, oh, just like a Rogan, and all that shit. I was all into it. But at the same time, I didn't see it. I just did not see it happening. And damn, you can't underestimate anybody. You never know. So I love the sport. You never know what any given day, anything can happen, year of the upset continues, but yeah, so we right here, look at like some of these, I don't know, man, 23% to the head to 62% by Strickland. Legs 36. Like I said, Izzy was leg attack. He was throwing a lot of leg kicks, but I think some of those were checked. Not half, but at least a good portion of them were checked. And I think in the first round it was Sean checked one really hard, and you could tell it kind of visibly affected Izzy, you know. But I mean, he still kept throwing him. Like Izzy, like I said, Izzy's tough as hell too. He's a warrior. Felt like he could have fought back a little more off the cage, but maybe he just wasn't finding his mark. You know, maybe he was just having an off night, or just couldn't find his mark, and that was it. You know, everything was landed at distance for Izzy. Nothing in the clinch. Nothing. You know, just. I mean, it was basically a freaking boxing match. You know what I mean? It was a boxer and a kickboxer, and the kickboxer really just couldn't land anything other than leg kicks. So, yeah, what's next, man? Izzy, man, that's 2 out of 3 he's lost now. I mean, I don't think it's an immediate rematch. Dana was already – you could tell Dana was pissed off. There's pictures of him in the cage, and I thought he would have been happy to get Sean. You know, I thought he was, like, right behind Sean, ready to give it to him. Kind of sidestep Izzy with the belt when he walked in, but there's other pictures. Maybe there's just still moments, but where Dana looked kind of pissed off. I guess, you know, Izzy he was a cash cow, like underneath Connor. He was up there, you know what I mean, as far as just a superstar, you know what I mean? So for him to get dropped, 2 out of 3 he's lost now. He defended the belt. Well, he won the belt back from Pahea, so he didn't get a chance to defend it this time. So I think you got to give Dricus du Plessis his shot. And now I'm actually interested more even in Khamzat and Costa when that happens, I think, next month, because the winner of that could even get the title shot, I think. Imagine Khamzat and Strickland. Imagine that build-up, that shit talk, that everything. I mean, that's a fight I want to see. But, you know, Costa has to get by Costa first. So that's another good fight, Costa and Strickland. So, I mean, there's some good matchups now to make. And I think Izzy's going to have to fight again, unless they do Dricus and Izzy, you know, which I think Dricus is next in line. But you also do Whitaker. I mean, Whitaker's there. He just lost. So, I mean, Izzy obviously is going to want the immediate rematch. I just don't think he should get it, in my opinion, because he just, you know, he didn't defend the belt. I just can't stand immediate rematches. Like the first time for sure, you know, he defended the belt multiple times. You know, had the TKO loss to Pahea. So, yeah, he got his rematch. I get that. But then he lost again after he won the belt. Yeah, I think, for sure you got to change it up. Let Strickland get a new matchup. And Jared Cannonier's right there. I mean, Izzy's already kind of fought everybody except for, like, Dricus, and Khamzat. So, I mean, I don't know. It's going to get interesting, like, who's next for Strickland, really, honestly. I mean, I think the winner of Costa Chimaev, that could make the most sense, or Dricus, you know, du Plessis. That'd be a good matchup too, and that's a tough matchup. I think the cardio was insane for Strickland. I mean, I can't believe, like, he wasn't even breathing hard. Third round, even after he just let off in the end of the first round when he caught Izzy and jumped on him and started tagging him and just bombarding him with that left hook over and over again, upside the head. You know, he upside the head. You know, just cracked, just nonstop, he still was not breathing hard, like mouth still closed. Like, man, I wish I had that. That cardio was amazing. Like, end of the fifth, he still looked fresh. You know, he was fine. Like, Izzy was tired a little bit visibly, just because it is more tiring when you're going backwards and constantly going up against the cage, trying to get off the cage, and, you know, you're trying to fight this dude off, you know what I mean? And then you still come in. So it's like you let off real quick just with, you know, because Izzy's a sniper, so it's more precision attack. So when he's not landing and not being effective, that's even messing with his mental and his just game plan. You know, because now when's he going to turn to a wrestler? I mean, he could have tried, but I mean, I don't know what he would have did. I think he was game planning for Strickland to try and wrestle him, and for him to just be able to snipe him from the outside, catch Strickland with his tendencies, and he just wasn't able to do it. And it's funny because everybody, including myself, thought Adesanya was the worst matchup for Strickland, and it turned out to be kind of the other way around. You know, he dominated. I mean, he won every round except for the second round, and that was close. Second and third were close, but you knew who won the fight at the end of the fight. You know, Strickland only looked like he was in a fight, other than his legs getting tagged up. You know, his face looked normal. You know, he could train tomorrow. You know, so pretty crazy. Unbelievable. New champ. Great matchups coming up. And, yeah, let me know what you guys think. Who's the best matchup for Strickland next and Izzy? I mean, I'd say for Strickland for sure. That's the champ. So, I mean, we got Costa, Khamzat, Cannonier and Dricus Duplessis. So all pretty exciting matchups. So let me know what you guys think on that.